On June 23rd, 2023, I streamed Geometry Dash for the first time. I originally planned to beat Deadlocked since back when I was 13, I could never beat it on my iPod Touch, which would not stop lagging, and I racked up a total of 6,000 attempts on the level. But now, since I had the tools to properly play the game, and it was the summer, Mac PC! Little did I know how far down the GD rabbit hole that would take me. I streamed this game every single day for the next year straight. I found some complete bangers to show to you guys, and I'm going to be showcasing through all of them today. But first, I have to talk about the level that started it all, Jensuteki. Jensuteki is a mega collab using the song World Box by Mio Phone. I think I pronounced that right. Subpixel, its host, was actually the first person who I ever met while doing Geometry Dash to inspire me enough to send a level to a moderator, and that's actually what led to me playing more level requests. This level has beautiful lights and flashing scenery that perfectly highlight all of the colors that I feel when I listen to the song, and it really brings it out with the extra gameplay. Most of the sync throughout the entire level is super fun to play, and I had an absolute blast playing through it multiple times. I didn't beat it yet, but I did get 60. I'm probably going to beat this soon. A lot of the parts have so many small details that just add so much extra to the level, and it really just makes it shine compared to any other levels. This exit transition is one of my favorite parts of the entire level, especially with the pixelated blocks, and the Mario pipe just looks so cute and so nice to actually see it come out in the level, especially the phenomenal ship gameplay right here. And the train scene! I love that train so much. Here we see the exit transition of the pixelated part of the song actually being Pixel, and the creator's name is Subpixel. Also, the gameplay here is quite peak, I'm not gonna lie. I really enjoy it. The sync with the UFO and the mini wave coming right after this is just so nice. Especially the little exit cube death is so sick. Coming into the next part, we have a little grassy, windy type area, just to represent the fluty-esque part of the song. And it's really, really nice. Especially due to all of the uses of the dash orbs and the sync speed changes, with another perfectly synced exit right into this satisfying ball triple click. I love this part so much. Really, I think the most noticeable thing about this level in general is the type of town structures they have, and how all of them are like, it just looks like a city, and then some of the other parts look exactly like some regular structures that just match the inside of a city. And this part right here literally has like lanterns or the stuff you see in the Tangled movie to match the saxophone. It's just so satisfying to see. And to pull off too, especially with all these exit clicks. They are all buffer clicks, by the way, I'm warning you. They're a little bit hard to pull off, but very satisfying. And finally, we have the last part of the level with some very satisfying clicks again. But these are extremely easy to mess up on. In my personal opinion, I think this is the most unbalanced part of the level. And it is the hardest for sure. It's just really, really fun to pull off though. And there we have it. That's Jensuteki. I think overall this level was phenomenal. I have no idea how this is featured, by the way. This is only a feature. I think it is absolutely stunning to look at and super good gameplay. But that's just me. Anyway, moving on to the next level. Magical Nature by D-Boy is a level that actually took me 9 times to send before it actually ended up getting rated. As far as I know, this is D-Boy's first attempt at actually making decoration besides being a part of Crabulon. Most of the structures are made to look like lanterns and fireflies in the first part, and then the second part is more of a mountain-esque landscape to really try and match the feel of the song changes. And I mean, the gameplay here is a bit weird because D-Boy can't make gameplay, but it does look really, really good, especially with the clouds. I mean, okay, I'm going to be totally honest with you here. He is employing the principle of, I'm only going to make the first half look good, and the second half, I'm just not going to finish. By the way, the dude did not even bother with the end screen. But still peak level, though. He put a whole 2 spikes at the end of the level. Either way, I'm going to the next one. Friendly Menace by Cemente GD is actually the first boss fight level I saw in 2.2. It is so unbelievably fun to play. Even when I didn't even have practice checkpoints, I learned how to play it just because of the satisfaction I had from actually learning all the boss fights. I mean, there are so many places you can sit and dodge like 90% of the attacks. Plus, the scythe in the gun phase, just so fun. And the way they transform into a dual ball to slam the floor is just so lit. Especially the fact that it's on beat, by the way. This level took a while to get rated, but it was so good. They even have like a little transition here with level error to match the song, and there are even more boss fights. I'm not gonna lie, when I got here for the first time, I thought the level was over, and then there was even more boss fights because there wasn't practice mode when I learned this. But I mean, it's pretty easy if you stay in specific areas and just dodge when once you learn the pattern. I cannot believe this is rated a medium demon because I thought it was an easy demon even when there was no checkpoints, but it's pretty easy, to be fair. You just have to learn where to stand, and sometimes the particles that follow you are follow triggered, but they are really easy to dodge. Otherwise, super fun level. Super duper fun and super cool. I'm surprised this didn't get rated faster, but it eventually did. Absolute banger. For the next level, we have Tubes by SS Lime E. I mean, this level was one of the first actual like speedrun levels I saw in GD, with a really, really cool usage of like jumping through tubes. I mean, hence the name, obviously, but you see the two little fire things at the bottom are both of the speedrun keys that you can activate. And I tried speedrunning this myself, and it's actually pretty hard. Originally, when this came out, there was way less checkpoints than there are now because people complained like crazy. But I thought it was super fun to see with the little clanking of the cube when he actually goes through the tubes. It's just super satisfying to see a run of. And honestly, really, really fun to play. Very tight gaps though, but it is possible to get the coins. I think this has got to go in as one of the hardest coins to get in any level. Also, the way these little particles work is after you touch them, they explode. Like, you have to walk away. And he was also forced to increase the time of those as well because people were complaining about them. They were pretty hard though, I'm not gonna lie. But otherwise, it is a banger concept. Super fun. And short, really. But now there's much more checkpoints. That's only the speedrun version. Socketed by Zila is another platformer level that uses a unique mechanic in where you have to go in between two little gaps of spikes, and the way you do that is actually by aligning yourself with the wall. Then after you align yourself with the wall, you actually fall perfectly through, and throughout the entire level you use like new mechanics of actually changing the direction of the entire walls itself and shifting the wall, switching into robot, forcing yourself to get an even cooler mechanic usages. And the decoration fits perfectly with the song, by the way, especially during the drop of Decode, the Decode song. I mean, I know it's not called the Decode song, but that's all I've ever heard it as. I saw a speedrun of this, and they literally just jumped through the gap and made a frame-perfect jump, but obviously you're supposed to use the puzzles to align yourself. And the way that it's actually connected is really cool because sometimes the parts will go through other parts of the level that you just beat, and you'll actually go to the newer parts. It's so fucking sick. I love this mechanic. I've never seen this before, but apparently it's based off something in Celeste. But either way, you actually have to move through other stuff, and the slow motion effect just adds so much more. I love it. And the ending is that. This next level is a bit of a special one. It starts the era of Matu game. This is the first level I had ever seen from Matu game when he sent it to me on stream. And this was such a fucking banger that I had to play it again myself like 30 times after the stream was over. Dude, it is literally the first actual like coherent boss fight I'd seen besides Friendly Menace. And there are so many different attack patterns and phases in this fight that just make it so fun. Not to mention, I mean, apparently this is inspired by Blood Ridge or something. I forgot the original name, but this level was just so sick. Especially that phase transition at 50%, where the boss like goes insane and explodes everywhere. It's so good. And its death animation is even cooler. So sick. First Matu game level I had ever seen. This starts the era of Matu game levels, by the way. Just a little teaser. Matu game is a complete beast when it comes to making boss fight levels, and that's all I'm going to say for the future of what he's going to make. Next up is Backtalk by Bad Purple. This is actually the first Bad Purple level I'd see too, similar to Matu game. I mean, it's a certified banger, especially with the song sync with the music. I love the gameplay. I mean, this is the first time I ever met Purple too, so I mean, I wasn't prepared for how much this would actually hit. You know what's crazy is this level didn't even get rated until like way after 2.2 came out. It was made pre 2.2, but it was updated after 2.2 to add more camera effects and features to give it even more vibrant colors and more energy. It's such a banger, especially with all of the colors and the transitions, with the arrows and the lines and the water driplets. It's just so fucking sick. I love this level. I had to put it in here because of how much I like it. And W Purple as always. Next up, we have Five Nights at RubRub's by Farstove. Now, this is actually quite a unique level because this is the first time I actually ever saw horror in Geometry Dash besides the FNAF Plus recreation. As you can see here, I'm actually beating the 2020-2020 mode, and this mode, I'm not gonna lie, is quite a bitch to beat. Originally, this wasn't even known if it was possible by the creator to beat it, but I thought it would be fun just to give it a shot. And basically the way it works is there are a total of 6 monsters in this mode, and all of them have different audio cues and visual tells. And if you hear me in the background there, I'm yapping because of White. Basically what White does is he breaks your camera if you look at him too long, and you lose a ton of power, and you can't look at Pink. The way it works though is if you don't stop staring at Pink, then Pink will actually just kill you, basically instantly. And you have to look at Pink and pay attention to the audio cues, look for the eyes, and listen to when somebody runs through the door and close the door. I mean, it's pretty cut and dry, but this is like the first actual type of horror recreation I saw. Also, there's another audio cue for Green, and whenever Green does a little growl in the background, you have to listen and immediately put on your mask. Honestly, this is really fun to play. It just took me a while because I kept fucking dying because my camera would get broken and I couldn't look at Pink when she got in the vent, and I would just end up losing all the time. I'm going to speed it up though because, I mean, you get the concept. It's just very repetitive to pull off, and you have to be super focused. I will say though, all the videos are linked in the description, so if you want to look at the full one, I will put it there. Also, here is the camera effect that I was talking about, where if you look at the white guy, the camera breaker, without changing your screen too fast, he will break your screen and you'll have no signal for such a long period of time. You can recover, but the only way to do it is to like constantly flip your camera open, and during this time period, Pink will move like crazy, and there's a little audio cue every time Pink moves where she'll get way closer. Go away. She moved twice. Are you kidding me? Another really cool effect is when you reach 5 AM, the whole screen gets like dark and infernal. This only happens during 2020 mode, which is a really cool addition. And the monsters do get quite a bit faster, and your power goes like way quicker than before. Because usually your power will only drain at a short amount, but just to make it even harder, the creator made it so it gets like super intense. And I mean, you really feel the intensity building playing through this. The music gets louder gradually, the monsters get faster, you have to flip your cameras really quickly. Pink is super close to getting right in front of your face and catching you, and the stress is just really there during the ending of this part. Like a lot of the other Five Nights at RubRub games, which I'm going to cover, which are super fun, by the way. I definitely recommend playing them yourself instead of just watching the video, because I enjoyed them quite a bit. And you can hear my celebration. Yes! Because it took me like an hour. Yes, that took so long to beat. So, oh my god, it was pretty enjoyable though. Coming up, we have Dash Labs by Finsden. This is one of my favorite levels I had played in a long time. And when I first actually played this, I literally went back and re-beat it off stream 3 times just because of how fun it was to play with the 2-player mechanic. Basically, what you do is you can move left and right with player 1, and with player 2, you change the direction of your dash orb, and you can dash with the up arrow of player 1. You can't actually jump, but you can only move left and right. And it makes for some phenomenal gameplay. Originally, this was rated an insane demon after I had sent it to mods, but it got downgraded to a hard demon. Believe me, it is not easy to play, but it is super fun. In the mechanic right here that you're seeing, you have to actually dash once, and it will turn on the things that will kill you if you touch them, and you can turn them off. The song beat, the change of the music, everything about this level felt so fucking smooth to me when I first played through it. Especially with the little orbs that you play. I love this level. Also, the little save state you just saw get hit is actually a checkpoint. And it's just so unbelievably satisfying to play through. There are so many little skips and cheeses you can do. Like, some spots you can literally skip whole orbs in gameplay. I mean, granted, it makes it way harder to pull off, but it's super fucking fun. And this transition right here is my favorite. I love it. Thumper, this is the first time I actually ever heard Thumper, and it is such a banger song. I'm actually using this in a part in Only Dash because I love the song so much. It just sings so well with the music too, especially how the creator looped certain portions of the song for certain portions of the level. And now actually the gameplay changed after that transition to a upside down arrow. And whenever you hit this dash orb, it'll actually change your gravity. And you have to incorporate that with moving now while you're in the air, not just dashing. Because a lot of people get in the habit of dashing and not moving. But now you're forced to use both of them. Get keys, go back, loop the mechanic. It is a blast to play through. Absolute blast. I love this fucking level so much. And even with the slopes, you have to like incorporate the usage of the slopes to realign your dash orb most of the time or reset it. It is just so creative and unique. That's why I love this level so much. I mean, Finn's Den cooked so hard here. Just like so enjoyable to play. I actually did this when Globe first came out. This is the first level I played with everybody, and literally nobody knew how to do it because it's so complicated. But overall, phenomenal level. Speedruns of this are in like 2 minutes. Can you believe that? Otherwise, banger. Next up, we have Cold Core by Matu Game. Now, this level is similar to Crypt of the Undead in the sense that you have to have a sword and have a boss fight, but this expands upon that idea way more than any other level that I've seen before. This is the first actual edition of procedurally generated boss fights that you go in order and just kill them one by one. The first enemy that you face is quite basic. I mean, it literally just has a cannon and it jumps up and down shooting the laser cannon. It is so easy to dodge if you go left or right. Now, I know you guys are probably wondering why these levels are not difficult. It's just because Matu Game does not want to make hard levels so everybody can play them. I mean, me personally, if I was as talented as Matu Game, I would have made like an extreme demon with the boss fights. That would have been, I mean, I don't imagine it would be as fun as this, but I still think that increasing the difficulty quite a bit would definitely benefit towards some more fun gameplay. Either way, right after you take out the first enemy, the elevator comes and picks you up, giving you a little healer bot that will restore your health procedurally right after a fight is over, and it'll also help during the next couple of fights, which you're going to see. During this, it actually changes the elements and the backdrops and designs of the boss fights, even though you have to like walk between areas. And yes, this fight is a gigantic ball sack while lasers are shooting at you. It is a absolutely beautiful, stunning scenery. I love this fight. Again, you can see the exit transition where the boss actually dies and has like a custom animation using time warp and explosions and move triggering it. It's so sick to see. The little checkpoint areas are also really nicely decorated, and once again, I mean, the gameplay formatting here is kind of linear, but I still enjoy the fact that the boss fights are so interactive and so many elements that just awaken when the player gets there in the first place. Like, this first fight starts out a bit lame, but then once you get it past 450 HP, it starts the actual phase of the fight, and the whole backdrop changes, and it goes to like a black hole effect. The guy starts using the sword and the shield. It's just lit. Plus, if you swing your sword and you actually move left and right at the same time, you can get a double crit and hit the boss multiple times. And then it goes into like its final form and starts flying up. I don't know what game this is inspired after, but it is so cool. Especially seeing this in Geometry Dash too. The axe spinning everywhere while the shield starts shooting lasers at you. I mean, it's pretty easy, but it is so fun to play. Like, just absolute banger of a level. I don't know how a Matu game manages to cook this hard. I really don't. I mean, you know what's crazy is the fact that he does this in such a short span of time, too. You guys don't even know. He would literally, like, his next couple of levels, he will have made them in, like, a month. And it'll be literally, it'll get legendary because it's so good. But I don't know how he does it so good, so fast. Coming up next, we have Gimmick Gauntlet by Greed. Starting off, we have Greed's dancing cube jumping in the background with spinning random flashing lights and some really funky ass ball gameplay just to show how many gimmicks this level is really going to put in. This level, as stated in the title, has a shit ton of gimmicks, particularly with slopes and with spider and with just weird, awkward gameplay that syncs with the music and makes it so fun in general. I mean, there are so many parts that are like awkward the first time you play them, but after you get through them, it's really fun. It's kind of like memory, but not really that hard memory. I'd say it's relatively easy to memorize most of the spider parts. Once you get them down, they're actually pretty satisfying, especially the duel on round 3, where it actually interchanges and has this weird loopy parallaxed background effect and foreground that like glitches. And then really nice transition on the round finale. Listen, I apologize for the quality, right? Okay, this is Greed's official footage. My computer literally records at worse quality than this. I could not record a better looking video. But yeah, this level is super fun to play. It's a hard demon, so if anybody wants to go take a look, it's all in the description. Very fun though. Coming up next, we have I Drop My Phone by Bad Purple. Now this level is quite a certified banger, if I do say so myself. I mean, I'm going to be perfectly honest, I don't know how Purple did this with his phone being broken after dropping his phone, but I mean, it is quite a peak level. Dude, his scenery is unironically so good, and he spends so long building such a small section just for the creators to literally glance at it. And I love how he always likes to tell a little lore story of dropping the phone and then you have to play through the broken phone. It's just so fucking cool. Also, the usage of text messages as actual block design is just so creative, and then you have to actually fix your phone and pay money. I think that was Bitcoin. It's just so funny to see. Purple just makes the best funny levels too. And obviously, like before, he has a lot of arrows, but this time it actually has meaning with his little story that he's telling. Otherwise, like, it's so creative, dude. Purple, W levels as always. Coming up next, we have a level that gives me PTSD. Orb Swap Shrine. Now, if you guys don't know the history of this level, I'm going to give you a brief overview. I had gotten through this level like 40 times because the concept seems simple enough, right? Your player 2, you switch the orbs, and your player 1, you have to move around and maneuver and jump across the orbs. This doesn't sound that bad, but in practice, but putting it in to actual, like, playing through it, and mind you, at the time when I beat this, I didn't have checkpoints. So I had to go through every single one individually, one by one, and rebeat it and get to the same spot every single time I left the level. I literally hated this level so much, but listen, I have to give it kudos, because Orb Swap Shrine is a really fun level, okay? I still thought it was really, really cool, so I had to put it in here. But listen, I'm gonna give you a warning. Originally, when I had to beat this on, there was no checkpoints in the ending section of the level. And listen, I know you're watching like basically a speedrun of this right now. It doesn't seem that bad. It is bad. It is hard. It is hard and very torturous. That's why it's an insane demon. Okay, listen. It's pretty fun though. I will admit, when you get through it and when you actually get the mechanics done properly, it's very fun to pull off, because throughout the entire level it switches between like pink orbs, yellow orbs, green orbs, and blue orbs, and you have to actually use all of them with swapping, dashes, upside down dashes. It's super fucking unique, but the biggest issue is your brain functionality. Your brain is going to be the biggest thing prohibiting you from actually beating this level, because trust me, I wish I could remember it that simple, but it's really not that simple. Especially this final section. I think Emule was debating on giving it a timed completion, and if you died, or if you didn't beat it within a certain amount of time, you would die and it would reset you. Thank God he didn't. Originally, this place had no checkpoints, so it would take people an average of an hour to get through this whole ending. And I think you're watching the no checkpoint version right now. I literally had to drag him and force him to put a checkpoint because this ending was so horrible. It was so hard for me to do. Thank God I finally beat this level after like an hour and a half of playing through it. Miserable level. But you know what? The satisfaction and pure testosterone I gained from beating it was worth the wait. Phenomenal concept, just so difficult. W Emule though. It was so hard. It took so long, bro. Coming up next, we have Oxy My Beloved by Psychro. This is such a fun extreme demon to play. I actually originally got sent this by Psychro on stream, and I loved playing through this level. I played through only 40% of it on stream, but then I watched the showcase of it, and I played the rest, and I actually ended up beating this one. This has got to be one of my favorite extreme demons I had ever played. The drop music is so satisfying. The sync, the clicks are just phenomenal, especially the black and glow decoration. I mean, black and white decoration is just so unbelievably cool. Especially this part here with the pendulum. I love it so much, dude. The beat is just so vibey. It's so energetic. It's so fun. The ship transitions, the mini wave, everything about it. And then the exit part with the smiley faces floating everywhere. This part is super click syncy, but it's also really fun. Personally, I think the last part looks hard in memory, but once you get used to it, trust me, it's really not that bad. This is a phenomenal extreme demon. It's not one for beginners because it's very memory based, but I definitely recommend it to anybody who wants to play an extreme demon in the near future. Please play Oxy. It's pretty peak. Coming up next is Alien Invasion by my boy Kenemy. Now, originally when I first saw this level, I didn't think it would be that good, but the final result was actually so much better than I ended up expecting. He actually did end up getting daily with this, and believe me, it's like a whole expansion of multiple different ways and routes that are fully explored with a ton of different themes. Honestly, I mean, it's a really cool level overall. The alien theme is really nicely executed with the saucers flying everywhere, the lava portions, and the part where you have to fight them with the gun is also really, really sick. I mean, personally, my favorite part is later in the level, where you actually can transition between an underwater area, or you can go to the top area, which looks like more pixel blocks. Mind you, this was made pre-2.2, so there weren't actually any pixel blocks for Kenemy to use, so he had to manually create them, which is honestly pretty impressive when you think about it, because I can't even imagine manually creating any pixel blocks nowadays. I just use the ones that were implemented by RubRub. And either way, it looks sick as fuck with the crystal designs, the song syncing with the beat, and originally I thought the gameplay wasn't that readable, but if you play the top side, I feel like it's a bit more readable than the bot side. I don't know, that's just a personal gripe I have with the level. Otherwise though, the alien saucer designs, the music sync, and the multiple areas you can go in are just peak. It is such a genuinely sick level, so I thought I'd give it a quick mention. Next up, we have Armored Core by Matu Game. Now, this level is insane. There have been plenty of other Matu Game levels in between this one, but if I talked about all of them because of how good they are, it would just be a Matu Game showcase, I swear to God. This is probably, like, my favorite level of 2024 so far. And special thanks to Matu Games for giving me a color in the level. Thank you so much for that, bro. But this level, guys, I can't even begin to stretch how fucking awesome it is. It has it is 5 total boss fights, so many guns, so many custom designs for art, for the weaponry, so many, like, beautiful elements, scenery, backdrops, designs. Every single aspect that has been put into this level is a certified masterpiece. I literally cannot describe a level better than Armored Core. Every single gun has a unique fire rate, damage, custom HP, customized designs. The boss fights themselves are insane. All of the boss have unique mechanics, special things, phase transitions. It is ridiculous. This is practically a whole nother game inside of Geometry Dash. And now you can see after I beat the first mission, you get a custom reward of money that allows you to go spend on your armor, your paint, your legs, weapon. Oh my god, it is ridiculous how in-depth this goes. All of them have customized stats like weight, speed, HP, and they all have different abilities. Personally, my favorite weapon is the Zimmerman. I fucking love shotguns in any game. So as you can see, I'm going to play through the whole game with the Zimmerman, but there are plenty of other guns that you could use. First off, we start off with the first boss fight, and it's just a flying guy and he shoots ranger stuff. I don't know the original game, but it's called Armored Core. You know what's funny? When I put this video up on YouTube actually flagged it as Armored Core instead of Geometry Dash. That's how similar the game looks. Oh my god, it's so good. It's ridiculous. I cannot believe this was made in GD. To mention, by the way, the controls are 2-player, so your player 1 is A, W, D, and your player 2 is left arrow, up arrow, and right arrow. And you can shoot with the up arrow and move your character with WASD. The worm missions are pretty simple. I mean, most of the missions, Matu doesn't want his levels to be hard in particular. Like, that's what he did with Enter the Gungeon and Scorched Core. I would have also brought up them as well, don't get me wrong, but there's just too many good Matu game levels. Please go check them out. As you can see, I'm just messing around, buying all the legs and buying whatever I can and just running with it. Because really, I mean, it's all about your custom preference throughout these boss fights. Like, it's just such a fucking banger. And then we have this weird ass spider boss, which reminds me of the original spider boss he created in his first level before Crypt of the Undead. This is just such a phenomenal design. I mean, all the boss fights are so unique and just so fun to play. In general, it's just like so unbelievably peak. I don't know how you can even begin to create something like this in Geometry Dash in the first place. Like, just look at the laser cannons, the flying. It's insane. Personally, though, I think my favorite boss fight out of all of them has to be the Enforcer boss fight, which you're gonna see soon. Dude, this level is just so fucking peak, bro. Custom usage of the time warp, the explosions, the mission complete. It's so hype. It is so hype. The whole system of designing, getting coins when you go back, buying more stuff, buying more guns, going on to the next missions, core tests. I'm still messing around in the assembly just because of how much more there is to look at, bro. There's just so much. I bought through all the legs because I like messing with the legs the most, honestly. The arms are pretty nice too, but if you guys want to really mess around, I recommend going through the weapons catalog. And like, when you finish all the bosses, you don't have to actually finish the level, but you can. And now we get into the Enforcer boss fight. Banger! I love this fight so much. Every single aspect of it. The fucking sword clashes, the jump ups, the electricity, the time warp. It's so cool! I literally cannot describe how much this is a fucking awesome boss fight. Literally, every aspect of this is amazing. Also, the soundtrack, not to mention. By the way, guys, when the Enforcer does that little effect and it spins in the air, it actually blocks your bullets, which is so cool. I love that so much. He jumps up to the air, slams the ground, hits you with a 1-2 combo with the time warp. He's very easy to die by. I actually lost on my first run to the Enforcer. Even though it's only an 8-star difficulty, he's kind of hard. Especially if you're running the Zimmerman. I mean, the gun requires you to get close range because it's a shotgun. But I could have just bought the flamethrower and torched his ass, which I did on my first run. But I wanted to beat it with the Enforcer this time, because the Enforcer is... I mean, not the Enforcer, the Zimmerman, because the Zimmerman is my favorite gun in the game. And then he dies again with another custom explosion time warp. It's just so amazing. I apologize for teabagging every single one of your characters, Matu game. It was a necessity, bro. I had to teabag them, okay? Listen, that was the requirement, okay? I had to teabag. I do this in every single Matu game level. I teabag the fuck out of his characters. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I had to, man. It was a must. And then I bought the new legs just to mess around some more. I got the skinny-ass legs. But personally, I think the ones that you get in the beginning are actually my favorite legs. And the chest plate you can get first is really cool too. Like I said, these all have custom designs, weight, and speed that influence the player. I think the more weight, the more HP in general. And the less weight, the more speed. But it's all customs to whatever you feel like playing with, really. You can customize it in any way, shape, or form. Or you could buy any guns or anything you want to play with. I just love the Zimmerman, man. Don't get me wrong. Just look at the custom aspect of each little crevice of the design. The soundtracks being totally unique, totally different. The teleports, the time warp. The last boss fight, too, is phenomenal. The way he dashes across the screen, explodes. And then you'll see soon when he makes a giant red X. I'm pretty sure this actually one-hit kills you if you get hit by it, but I have never gotten hit by it. You literally just stand still and you can avoid it. It's pretty easy to dodge, I'm not gonna lie. But dude, it's just such an amazing level. Words cannot describe how peak this is in Geometry Dash. I don't even know, listen, I'm not that good at the editor. I only learned how to do it like a little while ago, but I don't even know, I can't even perceive how you can make something this good with a 2D game engine about a cube fucking jumping. I don't even know how you can even begin to make something like this. So there's no question that this got legendary. Thank you so much to Matu Game for giving me those colors again, man, and sending this to me so quickly, because I'm just astonished about how good it was. He showed it to me during its development, but I didn't expect it to be this good when he finally finished it, bro. It's just so peak. Like, W Matu, as always. I don't know how somebody... Honestly, if there's a Creator of the Year award again during the GD Awards, my vote is 100% going to Matu Game. No question. Matu Game is just too good of a creator. Oh my god, bro. W Matu, as always. And that's Armored Core. Seriously, man. Go check out Matu Game's levels if you have not already. They are phenomenal. Absolutely phenomenal. Coming up next, we have Semiquaver by Creator Creepy. Now, I wasn't really sure how I should mention this, but Semiquaver by Creator Creepy is a rhythm game inspired by Quaver in Geometry Dash. But what I'm showing here is the animation that was made by GD Kinetic Frost inside of the level. Now, originally this wasn't actually in the level, but it was updated where they added an LDM and they added a bunch of more effects, bug fixes, and new songs with this bonus animation that really just puts it at the top. If you really want to play this level, it is basically Quaver in Geometry Dash. This is just one of the cool animations that's inside of it, so I thought I'd give it a quick mention. This scenery is absolutely insane, by the way. I love what Kinetic Frost did. It looks so fucking pretty. But really, if you guys like rhythm games, I tried playing this myself. I was debating whether I should show a playthrough of the actual levels, but I'm not good enough to do that. I'm not that good at rhythm games. But I can sure as hell assure you that the charting is completely phenomenal on all of them. I watched a bunch of videos by Bluesky, and the charting is just top-notch. I played through most of them on LDM and the practice mode, and it is really, really fun. It's just Quaver in GD, and it's super peak. This animation, by the way, is just top tier. This is one of those situations where the level got a really, really good update way after it was released, so it already got its initial rating of a feature. I'm hoping it gets re-rated to Epic because this is just beautiful. And I mean, the concept of Quaver in GD is just executed so beautifully and so perfect. I really just love this level. Honestly, I just thought I'd give it a quick mention because it's just so fucking cool. Trust me, guys, if you are on PC and you want to play a really cool 2-player minigame like Quaver, it has a bunch of songs and a bunch of maps, so be sure to check it out. It's very cool. Coming up next, we have Subpixel Splunk by Infrared Fire. Now, okay, I'm going to be totally honest with you. Initially, I like this level a lot, man. I thought it was really cool. I thought it had some cool pixel designs and some nice usage of the block deco and foreground and stuff, right? Right? Okay. But the coins on this level are so horrible. Listen, I don't want to even show the coin route, so I'm not going to be showing the portion of the video with the coins, but oh my god, do not go for the coins. That's all I'm going to say. Otherwise, yeah, this level's pretty nice. It has great movements. It has cool block designs. I thought I'd give it a quick mention because the pixel designs are also really cool, similar to Kenemies, but also very vibey, you know, and very fun gameplay mechanics. I've been with Infra when he made this and when it's been in development for a while, so I'm happy to see with the finished result finally being here. Honestly, it is pretty fire. The sync, the gameplay, the movements with the spider is just very satisfying, especially the robot transitions and the little clicks you have to do with the mini wave and the portals. I really just like all of it. It's really, really cool. Very, very fun level. But I do not think it is an A-star. I think it's a fair 9 or almost an easy demon, just because some of the clicks are a bit learny and you can die pretty easily. I mean, when I was trying to beat this for the first time, I died like 4 times on the ending, even though it's like a simple 4 clicks that are literally synced. Otherwise though, I mean, the gameplay is really fun, the sync is nice, the transitions are cool, and the level's pretty solid. So go check out Subpixel Splunk. I fucking said it wrong. It's Subpixel Splunk. Coming up next, we have Insulin by C-Cap. This level originally was also one I was set while it was being developed, and honestly, C-Cap did a great job matching the atmosphere of like a RubTop-esque style level that also feels really original. The atmosphere was really just nailed down with the particle effects and the small little additions of the people talking in the background, and the foreground being really, really nice in general. Just matching the Rocky-esque theme, especially with the coins sounding just so smooth, you know? It's just that element of polish really just adds a lot. I mean, the background is simple, but it works. This is one of those circumstances where you don't actually have to do too much in your background. It could still look really, really nice. Especially the little propeller pads that you step on, and they make a nice quiet sound effect. I think C-Cap really has shown his mastery of small but subtle sound effects that add a ton to the level, especially with the movements as you walk around and the jumping sound effect. Simple stuff like that may not seem like it adds much to the level, but trust me, if you take it away and play it without sound effects, the level almost feels naked. It's just like, you have to be on the lookout for those subtle stuff, for the subtle stuff that can really just influence the overall feeling of your level. Otherwise though, the small little spikes that he has and the small little pads are really nice. Same thing with the little movements and the chain effects he has, with the sound effects and the coins. Like I said before, it may not seem like it adds a lot, but it adds a ton. This is one of those levels that's like pretty slow, so I'm gonna speed it up to some of the parts that I thought were funny. Oh my god! It sounds so goofy when sped up. Oh my god, I was not anticipating that. Never mind. Next we have a part that he uses the Tanger Siren Party song, and then we have a nice little section where it's just one of those spots where you have to dodge the spikes and stand on each individual line, just avoiding the X's. Kind of like a simple mechanic, but it's a pretty fun one to pull off. Like I said, challenging, atmospheric, and simple. That's what I like about this level. Blood spelt vehicle wrong. Vehicle. C-Cap vehicle! But otherwise, that's pretty much it. Go check this level out. It is very fun. It has great atmosphere, and it's pretty cool. Lastly but not least, we have Disintegrate by Kingsman265 and more. Dude, I just had to talk about this level. Thank you so much to everybody who participated. Seriously, this was such a banger collab that I'm so glad I could host with you guys. Really, I literally had participated in 4 collabs before this, but nothing of this scale, and I never tried to host a collab that actually ended up looking this good before. So seriously, thank you to everybody who participated. Purple, Derpy, Amargo, Kenemy, thank you, D-Boy, Sabaka, Isaac. Seriously guys, thank you so much to everybody who tried to do anything on this level, and I'm so happy with the final result. This is such a banger, bro. I'm so happy I can verify this. I'm so happy if I could just be here and play through it with everybody. And Long Nub especially for that peak-ass end screen you made, bro. Great job to everybody who participated in the collab. Thank you for listening for my feedback. I'm sorry if I was a little bit annoying at times. I had to, man. I had to make the level look good, bro. But it looks so peak. I'm so happy, guys. This was such a W year and such a W collab to host. Really. This level is just so peak. I'm so happy I could work on this with everybody in chat and really make something great. Also, really quickly, I want to give a special thanks to Supernova for making this entire year possible by designing the bot. Now, I can't show you the code for what he designed, but I'm going to blur this, but basically he created the entire level request bot that you guys see every single day, and without it, I would not be able to stream requests. So thank you so much to Supernova for making this entire year possible. I really appreciate it. Alright guys, now what you've been waiting for. How many requests did I do in an entire year? You guys are going to be quite shocked with the amount. Now listen, I know I put a decent amount of levels in this video, but there were so many more which I couldn't even mention that I sent to mods, that I saw got rated, that I helped along. Believe me, the list goes on and on and on of how many levels I reviewed and went through this year. But I'm just going to show you the overall number that I played on stream after 2.2 because I deleted it before 2.2. And here's the number after 2.2. 13,306. And I'm going to show a small clip here of pre 2.2. Goodbye to all my levels. It's been nice having 10,740 level requests. But to mark the history and to save my data, I need to delete them all. We did it. 24,000 level requests. That is quite an insane number. I was not expecting to get that many this year, but thank you so much to everybody who came to the stream, sent their levels, and appreciated my feedback. I really do think this was a phenomenal year. If you guys did not already, please hit that like button. This video took me like 5 fucking days to make, bro.